I'm Dane.
Name's Paul.
I'm Nagwa.
My name is Boy.
My name is Moj.
Jacob.
Hi, my name is Abby, and today I will be giving you an informative speech on relational development, including the coming together and coming apart stages. There's a quote that says, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think that you figure out who those people are and which category of reason, a season, or a lifetime, depending on the relationship development theory. The relationship development was developed by a man named Mark Knapp. There are good and bad stages in Knapp's developmental model, and we all go through a few of them. We all go through different relationships, whether it be a friendship or a romanticized relationship, but we never know where they are going to lead to or how they will end up. Each relationship is a mystery, but these stages can teach you how to read your relationship and know why things went a certain way. I believe that these stages of development are an important piece of knowledge to know for your mind and for your heart. I chose this topic because I have always been fascinated by relationships, and I will always wanted to know why some ended up a certain way. I strongly believe in the motto, everything happens for a reason. So I also think that everyone shows up in someone's life for a reason as well. I studied and read the book and this section titled The Stages of Relational Development in Chapter 9 in the Interplay book. I have also looked up my fair share on the information of this topic. First, I will discuss the relational developmental and what it is and the stages of it. Secondly, I will discuss and describe the stages of the coming together stages. And lastly, I will discuss and describe the coming apart stages of the relationship. The stages of relational development are a section of the models of relational dynamics. The stages, which are developed by Mark Knapp, were broken into 10 steps, waxing and waning. The waxing and the waning being the coming apart and coming together stages. Other researchers suggested that the model should have a third area called relational maintenance, aiming at keeping relationships operating smoothly and satisfactorily. So that's where the relationship would stay in kind of a steady area, which is a happy area. The model suggests that all of the steps should be done one at a time in sequence to make sure that they are effective. Now that we've discussed what relational development is, now we will talk specifically what the stages of coming together and coming apart are. Starting with the coming together. The stages of the coming together are initiating, experimenting, intensifying, integrating, and bonding. The goals of initiating stage are to show that you are interested in making contact with the other person and that you are worth someone talking to. Communication during this stage is usually brief and it generally follows conventional formulas, such as handshakes, remarks about the weather, and friendly expressions. After making contact through the initiating stage, we generally enter the experimenting stage, which is the stage where we look and search for common ground. We usually start with basics like, where are you from, what do you like? We look for similarities. This is the stage of small talk. When a relationship starts intensifying, communicators increase their amount of contact with each other. This can include spending time together, hanging out with mutual friends, going on trips, and participating in mutual activities. This can make this relationship stronger, and the people in the relationship enter the integrating stage after that, which means that they begin taking an identity as a social unit. Social circles merge, and the partners of a relationship start to share each other's commitments like Thanksgivings and going to the movies together, things like that. Bonding is simple. It is pretty much the marriage or engaged stage. It is where the people are known as a pair to the rest of the world. They are no longer separate, but one. Some relationships stop at the coming together stage of the whole thing, but some sadly go into the coming apart steps. So now I will tell you about those. The coming apart stages is exactly what it sounds like. It's the stages where the relationship starts to fall apart. These stages are named the differentiating, circumscribing, stagnating, avoiding, and terminating stages. The differentiating stage is where the people in a relationship often find that they need to reestablish their individual identities. This transition shows up in a couple pronoun usage. Like, what am I doing during my weekend instead of what are we doing during our weekend. Differentiating can also be positive. considering that people need to be individuals as well as part of a relationship. This is especially considered for international couples who want to stay connected to their roots. In the circumscribing stage, partners reduce their scope of contact with each other. The word circumscribe comes from the Latin meaning draw circles around. Distinctions become drawn and clear, like my money and your money, my friends and your friends, and soon maybe my life, your life, instead of our life. But some distinctions can be a healthy balance between individual and relational activity. In circumscribing continues, the relationship begins to stagnate. The stagnant stage is where members of a relationship behave toward each other in old familiar ways without feelings. No growth occurs and relational boredom sets in. The stagnating relationship is a shell of its former self. When stagnation becomes too unpleasant, people start avoiding each other. Avoidance is the stage where people make up excuses, sometimes in the disguise of I've been sick, I can't see you. Or sometimes it could be direct, like please don't call me, I don't want to see you. In either way, by this point it is quite clear where this relationship is heading. The final stage is the terminating stage, where the relationship starts to deteriorate. Depending on the people in the relationship and their feelings, the termination can be short and amicable, or it can be bitterly drawn out over time. In conclusion, all relationships go through these stages. Just look back on your own and think, and you will see the stages when you really think about it. Just because not all relationships last, it doesn't mean that it is all negative. You can always learn something from the bad and the good. I hope all in all that you all learned something from this speech. Thank you.